Some tech help for holiday travel. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Google is technology expert Robert Ferrara. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Fred. Thanks so much for having me. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Now, the forecasts are that millions of us will be filling the roads and skies this holiday week, and again for the holidays next month. And there's some new AI tech that can help. Give us a little overview first.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to think how fast a year goes by. I mean, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, here at Google, we have all of the trends and tips to get you prepared for the holiday season. It's definitely the most wonderful time of the year, but also one of the most chaotic. But hopefully, it will be a little bit less crazy with these tools. Mainly, I think one of the things with folks really hitting the road, Google Maps, of course, comes to mind for so many. I mean, I rely on it every day. Helping avoid traffic jams with real-time traffic data and updates and suggested routes. It really helps kind of just keep yourself a little bit organized. This year, the team has some really cool new features as well to take that to the next level. So first off, there's new weather disruption features as well. So you can actually use Google Maps to just take a look at any weather-related road closures, whether it's flooded road, unplowed roads, flooded roads, helpful information about traffic conditions and any potential delays that might impact your trip. Another big thing too is if you have an electric vehicle, there's a lot of range anxiety as well when you're hitting the road. So you can actually plan your trip with charging stops along the way, which is incredible, ensuring you never run out of any juice. And you can just use Google Maps to show you compatible charging stations based on your model as well, which is very cool.
Really terrific. And even when it comes to your destination, if you're going to a restaurant or a store, you can help us avoid some of the crowds there too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. With a lot of our trends data too, I mean, it's important to stay ahead of it and get and plan ahead. I think for especially Thanksgiving too, a lot of folks wonder like, what is the best time to actually hit the road? And our general rule of thumb based on kind of our data is to get on the road and beat traffic typically the Sunday or Monday prior to Thanksgiving. The best time that we recommend is around 8 p.m. your local time. That's kind of the best option to get ahead of those traffic jams. And obviously, no surprise there, but avoiding times like the Friday the week prior or the Tuesday and Wednesday right before Thanksgiving around 1 to 2 p.m. That's when traffic really hits its peak. So really important to kind of steer clear of that.
And if people are planning their shopping trips for right after Thanksgiving, et cetera, you can help. I mean, it's going to be crowded no matter what, but more so perhaps on other days, you can tell people when the stores are busiest, most likely, or a restaurant, things like that too.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, Google Maps is pretty incredible with that. So you can actually use it for like busyness data for businesses between typical open hours. So, for example, if you were, a shopping center, just a general rule of thumb for the country, the busiest times that we see are like between 1 to 2 p.m. on a Saturday. The least busy is like at 10 a.m. on a Monday. So, if you ever have any specific shopping centers in mind, specific stores you want to hit up, all you have to do is kind of toggle to Google Maps and it'll give you a good sense of what you can expect before you head in there.
Now, travel can be pretty expensive, no surprise there, even though gas prices are a little better than they were. What are some money-saving tips?
Yeah, so with Google Flights, it's such a great tool that I use personally just for all of my trip planning needs. A big thing too that we actually announced was this like new cheapest tab. So if you are kind of just interested in getting down to it, finding the most budget conscious, option for your trip that's coming up, or if you're in a bind with a tight turnaround, you can actually now toggle to this new tab that just will narrow your results down to the cheapest options. So that is a really great game changer as well.
You touched on this a bit, but how can AI really help with the trip planning?
Yeah, so AI, I mean, so a lot of folks might be familiar with Gemini, which is Google's kind of like AI powered personal assistant. You can access it on the web. You can access it through apps. We've been traditionally on Android and actually just launched last week our first standalone app on iOS. So iPhone users can take advantage of it too. And it really is remarkable in how you can kind of use it for honestly just creativity, planning for your travel. I mean, I've organized entire trips just using Gemini alone, which is really cool if you need itinerary inspiration, things like that. In particular, one of the features we launched this year is called Gemini Live, and it introduces a whole new way to interact with Gemini just using your voice. So you're able to just open up the app on your device, on your mobile device, and start a live session and have a conversation with Gemini back and forth. You could interrupt it. You can speak at your own pace, barge in. You can choose from 10 different voices to choose whatever, speaks to you the most. And it's a really, really incredible way to interact with AI when you're on the go. So I find myself pulling my phone out and just kind of like having a casual conversation. Hey, I have to head home from the holidays, and what are the best times to hit the road? Or, what do I need for a packing list? What can I expect, weather condition wise? And honestly, just inspiration as well. I'm thinking about a New Year's Eve trip. What are some top destinations I should consider? Help me plan a trip, help me find some flights or hotels that might, do the trick. So it's really, really limitless in regards to how you can use it for the holiday season. We find a lot of folks. I'm making my first Thanksgiving turkey. What should I know? I'm in the kitchen right now as we speak. How can I kind of, take this over the finish line?
Just amazing. Maybe you can even ask it, how do I deal with Aunt Millie at Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. It's very funny you say that because rehearsing tough conversations is actually a big use case for Gemini Live. So whether it's your annual review at work and you want to prepare for that, or a job interview, or how to handle that relative that we all have every year at the Thanksgiving table, you can use that to get yourself settled.
Very interesting. For more info, what are some of the places people can go to?
Yeah, so I think a great place to start is always blog.google.com, which is our keyword blog that has all of our need to know information. And you can kind of dive deeper into our tips and tricks and the different products we mentioned. And then if you're interested in Gemini specifically, I highly recommend just going to gemini.google.com, or just going to your app store on Android or iOS and downloading it yourself. It's free. It's linked with all of your Google apps and services, and you can get ready and get started.
Terrific. Robert Ferrara, have a great holiday and thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for having me, and you as well. Talk soon.